So here now with more, attorney David Wohl and A.B. Stoddard, associate editor and columnist for Real Clear Politics. Welcome to both of you. Good to have you here. David, you're defending Roy Moore in this situation?
Well, look, the timing of these allegations 1 month before the election makes them highly suspect. I mean, let me get this straight. These acts allegedly took place in 1979, and her first disclosure is 38 years later, not to law enforcement, but to a newspaper that has endorsed Roy Moore's opponent and is hell-bent on taking him down. I'm sorry, the credibility is completely zero. Mr. Trump, President Trump went through the same thing during the election. 3, maybe 4 women made outrageous
yeah, but they weren't 14-year-old girls.
Against him. One said it happened when she was 13. She didn't show up at a press conference and mysteriously dismissed her complaint against him shortly thereafter. So, I mean, the girl also admits, Martha, during this time that she was suffering from drug addiction, alcohol abuse. She was basically incorrigible. That's not the point, David. It's not
a question of her character. It's a question of his character. He was the adult. He was 32 years old. And
Understood.
So the question is
Martha,
whether or not, and she said, I went along with it. I went to his house a couple of times. It's really not, that question of her going. It's the question of whether or not he did this. And I'm not hearing in what his statement is saying. And I understand, that this is obviously a hugely political charged environment. His opponents are looking for anything they can possibly find to take him down. This is a long-held Republican seat. Everybody gets all of that. The question is whether or not this happened and whether or not voters are going to hold that against him. A.B.?
Yeah, I mean, this is an impossible situation for the Republicans who are calling for him not to run or to step down from his nomination, because this is not something that can be proven. It's not something that can be prosecuted. So they'll say that you see the senators in Washington saying, the Senate is no place for someone like this. He should step down. His candidacy is not sustainable if these allegations are true. We have no way of knowing how to prove that true. And then you have Alabama Republicans defending him. And you have his campaign basically saying it's all, a plot from Jeff Bezos at the Washington Post and the Democrats. Of course, Steve Bannon will blame Mitch McConnell. All of this coming out. And as Ed pointed out, within the 76-day mark. So he's really protected legally. Yeah. And he obviously is defined. He's not going to step down. This is not a situation that Republicans are going to be able to get out of. I think they're going to have Roy Moore in the Senate on December 13th, unless this depresses Republican votes, energizes Democrats, and he loses the election.
He's up by 6% right now in the Real Clear Politics average, David. Some people, Lisa Murkowski among them, who was a writing candidate herself in 2010, is suggesting that people write in Luther Strange.
Well, I think it's absolutely outrageous for these senators like John McCain to be presuming more guilty under these circumstances. That's not America. This is something that is a politically opportune accusation. I get that. But look, the allegations do not hold water at this point, and it's more likely that Moore's supporters are going to be energized, just like Mr. Trump's were, under these allegations. When allegations like this are made that appear to be a political witch hunt, I guarantee you, Martha, they're not going to give up on him. He's going to win probably by more than 6%, and it's going to be another failed attempt by the Washington Post to take down somebody that they object to politically.
It's an ugly story and an ugly political season, to be sure. Thanks, you guys. A.B. and David, good to see both of you tonight.